The call to war. Captain Adam Vance stood on the observation deck of the UNS Resolute, staring out at the vast expanse of space. The stars twinkled like distant memories, but his mind was heavy with the present. The mission had started as a simple patrol of the outer colonies, but it had quickly turned into something far more dangerous. The alien race known as the Drevs had pulled humanity into their war, and now Adam was about to lead his crew into the heart of the conflict. As he contemplated the weight of his responsibilities, the door behind him hissed open. Turning, Adam saw Lieutenant Commander Marie Jacobs, his second-in-command, standing there with a look of concern on her face. "Captain, we've received a transmission from Drev High Command. They're requesting our immediate assistance on the front lines." Adam sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. It was only a matter of time, he muttered. The Drevs were a warrior race, powerful and unyielding. They had been at war with the Zrakans, another alien species, for centuries. Humanity had been dragged into this conflict after a series of misunderstandings, and now there was no turning back. "We don't have much of a choice, do we?" Adam asked, though he already knew the answer. "No, sir," Marie replied. "If we don't assist, the Drevs might consider us enemies, and we can't afford another war." Adam nodded. "Prepare the crew. We'll head to the coordinates they sent. Let's hope we can make a difference." As Marie left to carry out his orders, Adam turned back to the stars. He had faced many challenges in his career, but this felt different. The stakes were higher, the enemies more formidable. And yet, as always, humanity had a knack for surviving against the odds. Into the fray, the UNS Resolute dropped out of hyperspace, arriving at the designated coordinates. The view on the main screen shifted to reveal a massive Drev fleet, their ships bristling with weapons and shields glowing with energy. Beyond them, Adam could see the Zrakan Armada, an ominous presence with dark, sleek ships designed for war. "Open a channel to the Drev flagship," Adam ordered, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. The screen flickered, and the imposing figure of General Koran, a Drev warrior clad in heavy armor, appeared. His golden eyes were sharp, and his expression was grim. "Captain Vance, we appreciate your swift response. The Zrakans have launched an all-out assault on our homeworld. We need every available ship to hold the line." Adam met the alien's gaze. "We're ready to assist, General. What are your orders?" "Your ship will join our second wave. The Zrakans have concentrated their forces near the planet's defense grid. If we can break through, we'll push them back to their staging area and force a retreat." "Understood. We'll be ready," Adam replied. As the communication ended, Adam turned to his crew. "You heard the General. This is it. We've trained for this, and now it's time to show what humanity is made of. Let's get to work." The crew moved with purpose, preparing the ship for battle. Adam could feel a tension in the air, but he knew they were ready. The Resolute had been through its share of scrapes, and they had always come out on top. This time would be no different. The battle begins. The Drev fleet surged forward, and the Resolute followed suit, its engines humming with power. As they closed the distance to the Zrakan forces, the space between the two fleets erupted in a dazzling display of energy weapons and missile fire. The sound of alarms filled the bridge as the Resolute's shields absorbed the initial barrage. "Shields holding at 85%, Marie reported, her fingers flying over the controls. "Return fire," Adam ordered. The ship's cannons roared to life, sending a volley of energy blasts toward the nearest Zrakan cruiser. The impact was immediate, the enemy ship's shields flaring brightly before one of the blasts punched through, causing a cascade of explosions along its hull. "Target neutralized," Lieutenant Ortiz, the tactical officer, announced with satisfaction. But there was no time to celebrate. The battle raged on, the space around them a chaotic mix of explosions and debris. Adam's focus was razor-sharp as he directed his crew, making split-second decisions that could mean the difference between life and death. As the Resolute maneuvered through the battlefield, avoiding enemy fire and returning it in kind, Adam couldn't help but feel a strange sense of unity with the Drevs. Despite their differences, they were fighting side by side, each relying on the other to survive. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, alliances could be forged and enemies could become allies. The turning point. Hours into the battle, the situation was growing desperate. The Zrakans were relentless, their ships pressing the attack with unyielding ferocity. The Drev fleet was holding, but barely. Adam knew they couldn't keep this up much longer. "Captain, we've received a priority message from the Drev High Command," Marie called out. On screen, Adam replied, bracing himself for more bad news. General Corrin appeared, his expression more severe than before. "Captain Vance, the Zrakans have deployed a new weapon. It's targeting our planetary defenses. If they succeed, our homeworld will be defenseless." Adam's mind raced. "What do you need from us, General?" "The weapon is located on their flagship, deep within their formation. We need a small strike force to breach their lines and disable it." Adam nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "We'll do it. We'll take out that weapon." "May the stars guide you, Captain," Corrin said before the transmission ended. Adam turned to his crew, determination in his eyes. "This is it. We're going behind enemy lines. It's a risky move, but if we don't succeed, the Drevs will lose their homeworld, and we'll lose an ally. Prepare for the jump." The crew moved quickly, tension giving way to focus. They knew what was at stake, and they were ready to do whatever it took to succeed. Behind enemy lines, the Resolute jumped into hyperspace, re-emerging in the heart of the Zrakan fleet. Alarms blared as enemy ships immediately locked onto them, but Adam was ready. "Evasive maneuvers. Keep them off our tail," he shouted, gripping the armrests of his chair. The ship twisted and turned, dodging enemy fire as it closed in on the Zrakan flagship. The closer they got, the more intense the resistance became. But the Resolute was built for this, and its crew was nothing if not resilient. "Target the flagship's weapon system," Adam ordered. "We need to disable it before they fire." The ship's cannons unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, striking the flagship's shields. For a moment, it seemed like they wouldn't be able to penetrate, but then a section of the shield flickered and failed, exposing the weapon. "Fire everything we've got," Adam commanded. The Resolute's weapons roared, and the Zrakan weapon exploded in a brilliant flash of light. The flagship shuddered, and Adam knew they had succeeded. The tide of the battle was about to turn. The final stand. With the Zrakan weapon destroyed, the Drev fleet rallied. The Zrakans, caught off guard by the loss of their secret weapon, began to falter. The Drev ships pressed the advantage, driving the enemy back with renewed vigor. "Captain, the Zrakans are retreating," Marie reported, her voice filled with relief. Adam allowed himself a small smile. "We did it. We held the line." But the battle wasn't over yet. The Zrakan fleet was retreating, but they were still a threat. Adam knew they couldn't let them regroup. "Pursue them," he ordered. "We need to make sure they don't come back." The Resolute and the Drev ships chased after the fleeing Zrakans, firing on their ships and forcing them further away from the Drev homeworld. It was a dangerous pursuit, but Adam knew it was necessary. They had to make sure the Zrakans didn't have a chance to launch another attack. As the last of the Zrakan ships jumped into hyperspace, the Drev fleet let out a collective cheer. The battle was over, and they had won. A new alliance. The UNS Resolute returned to the Drev homeworld, where Adam and his crew were welcomed as heroes. The Drevs, once wary of humanity, now saw them as allies, and a new bond was forged between the two species. General Corrin met with Adam in the Grand Hall of the Drev capital. "Captain Vance, you and your crew have proven yourselves to be true warriors. You have our deepest gratitude." Adam nodded, feeling a sense of pride. "We couldn't have done it without your support, General. This victory belongs to all of us." Corrin placed a hand on Adam's shoulder, a rare gesture of respect from a Drev. "Together, we are stronger." The Zrakans will think twice before challenging us again. As Adam looked around at the Drev warriors and his own crew, he felt a sense of hope for the future. They had faced the darkness together and emerged victorious, and in doing so, they had taken the first step toward a new era of cooperation and peace. The war might not be over, but for now, they had won a hard-fought victory, and as long as they stood together, Adam knew they could face whatever challenges lay ahead.